The bride took a powder, walked out just like that?
Left him standing right there at the altar.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that is so tasty. That is positively mouth-watering.
I don't get it. I thought this Sheila Carter wanted this marriage.
Wanted it? So, the way I hear it, she not only wanted it, she stalked that man like she was the great huntress and he was the biggest game in the jungle.
That's why everybody was so confused. They couldn't figure out that she would do something like that.
Well, tell us more, darling. How did Queen Stephanie react to this latest embarrassment?
Well, that was very interesting.
What was?
Stephanie's reaction. It was as though she expected it.
Looks like we've been celebrating.
Well, it's true. Lauren and I had a glass of champagne.
Where is she?
She went home. She went back to Genoa City.
She left.
About an hour ago.
Well, you must be on cloud nine.
Not really. I just think things have turned out for the best.
You talked to Dad?
No. And I don't suppose any of us are going to hear from him this evening either.
He's probably tending to his wounds.
Well, honey, he's been hurt. But I do believe he's better off.
Well, I agree with you. But if I were him, I'd want to kill the whole lot of us.
Why? For caring?
For interfering, Mother.
We didn't interfere. We just told him exactly what we felt.
He was expecting a little support. He's angry. Can't blame him, can we?
No, I can't blame him. I'm just hoping that he's going to throw himself right back into his work, and in a short period of time, this will all be just a bad memory.
I hope you're right. God knows we've got enough going on at Forrester to keep him busy.
I saw you talking to Brooke at the chapel.
Yeah, we had a few words.
Friendly words, I hope.
I can't tell you how strange it is hearing that come out of you.
Well, I mean, we all know where we stand here, don't we? I mean, she might have a possible claim on the patent for belief, and so we have to stay in her good standing. I don't have a stroke. I was actually thinking of having her over for dinner.
As what, the main course?
Ha ha ha. Be serious.
You actually invite Brooke over for dinner?
Well, Eric and Steve keep telling me that I'm the one that has the most fences to mend with her, so... I mean, the truth of the matter is, if she found out there was a possible claim that she might have on the belief patent, she'd probably go after it just because she hates me so much.
Well, you and I certainly have our work cut out for us.
Well, I'm not so sure. I think your fences will be a lot easier to mend than mine.
I'm not so sure of that. There's another ingredient in the mix, Mother. And you could be big-time trouble. What a day, huh?
Yep. What a day.
Brooke, I'm sorry, but I still can't believe that marriage would have made much of a difference for you and Ridge, one way or the other.
Well, it would have. If Eric married Sheila, the last obstacle would have been removed. Ridge would have been mine.
Will you still marry me? I know I don't even have a right to ask you that question, Eric, but I must. Because I do love you. And what happened here today hasn't got one thing to do with that love. You have to understand that.
What do you want? What do you want from me? I believe you. When you say you love me, I believe that. But you didn't want to marry me today. You ran out of this chapel instead of taking those vows.
I told you why I did that, why I had to do that. Sweetheart, I'm going to ask you a question, and please think very hard about it before you give an answer. If you had been me today, standing here surrounded by people who hated me for what I was about to do. Could you have gone through with the wedding? Could you have, Eric? I don't think so.
No. No, I couldn't have gone through with this wedding if I were you. I was expecting too much.
No, you wanted your family here. You wanted them to accept us, and so did I.
I kept hoping and expecting that my family would change, but they didn't. I mean, how many times did they tell me? Over and over again that they disapproved of this, that they were against it, and I still made them come here to this chapel and sit through what to them was just a charade.
Oh, don't blame yourself, Eric.
No, I forced something that simply wasn't there. Oh, Sheila. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for putting you through all this.
It's all right. It's all right, Eric. But what are we going to do now?
Jack, you said you thought Stephanie expected Sheila Carter to leave Eric standing at the altar?
Well, I would say at the very least, she seemed relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah.
You mean mortified?
Well, you're right about that, Saul. Wait till that story hits the tabloids.
Honestly, I don't think that Stephanie cared. And I'm very glad that she didn't.
Why?
Well, I don't want to see Stephanie miserable. I know the two of you don't get along. But she's not an enemy, and I would just as soon see Stephanie happy.
Oh, I see.
Did you talk to her, Jack?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Saul, would you mind beating it for a few minutes? I need to talk to Jack alone.
What really happened over at that chapel?
I told you what really happened.
No. I don't mean about Eric's wedding. I mean about you and your former girlfriend, Stephanie. You ignored her? You want us to believe that?
Saul, Sally just asked you to leave. Now I'm asking you to leave.
Sorry?
So, Jack, exactly what did happen between you and Stephanie?
Something significant, Sally. Something very significant.
You sound so sure about this.
I am.
How can you be? This is a hell of a stretch, Brooke.
You have to remember that Rich and I were talking about marriage just last year.
What happened?
He realized that Eric was still deeply involved with me, that he didn't want to lose me. So he did what any loyal son would do. He gave me up.
But you wouldn't cooperate.
No, I knew that my marriage was over, and I told Ridge we were getting a divorce.
So Ridge married Taylor to keep you from doing that?
Yeah, that's the way it happened.
Brooke, even if that's true, don't you think it's possible that after a year of marriage, he may have fallen in love with her?
If he were in love with Taylor, I'd feel it. And the only thing I feel right now is the longing that he still has for me.
Did Ridge tell you that?
No, he doesn't have to. I know it's what he believes. This marriage was supposed to readjust those beliefs. Seeing Eric marry Sheila was supposed to finally allow him to see the truth, that Eric really doesn't love me anymore. And that final hurdle would have been gone. Ridge would have been mine. I'm as sure of that as I am of my love for that man.
Brooke. Brooke. The wedding didn't happen. Eric did not remarry. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Are you talking about Connor Davis?
Yes.
Well, I hope you're wrong. I mean, I hope he is in trouble.
Dad says he's a hell of a lawyer.
So if he and Brooke are involved and he gets wind of this patent problem,
We can't let that happen, Mother.
you can't let that happen.
Me?
Yes, you. You have to persuade her that this fellow isn't the right person for her.
Oh, and how do you suggest I do that? There's only one other man she's interested in. You want me to push her in that direction, Mother?
Of course, I am not suggesting that you become romantically involved with Brooke.
So what are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting you've always had rather extraordinary powers of persuasion as far as she's concerned, so use them.
Mother, that doesn't extend to telling her who she can and can't date.
Didn't you just tell me it disturbs you that he's even involved in her life?
Yes, it does disturb me. Because my daughter happens to be living over there.
Fine. Then use that to get her to stop dating him.
What happened in that chapel today changed everything. If Dad had married Sheila, I might have had some influence over Brooke. In fact, I'm sure I would have. But because he didn't marry, frankly, maybe it's for the best.
Why do you say that?
Because Brooke might have had some influence over me too, Mother. And to be quite honest, I'm not so sure how I would have dealt with that.
So, Jack, you said something significant happened between you and Stephanie at that wedding today.
Yes.
Well, baby, I'm not so sure I want you to tell me what it was.
Yes, you do.
All right. You and Stephanie had a talk, I assume. Were you alone, or were other people watching you?
We didn't talk.
What?
Stephanie and I never said one word to each other.
But you just told me
That something significant happened, and it did. I saw two people supposedly very much in love. Two people who were going to be married. I know two people like that.
Yes, I do too.
You can lose your chance. You can wait too long, and it'll pass right by you.
That's right, Jack. It can.
Let's not let it pass by us. We have to set a date. We have to set a date and get married and do it soon.
Oh, darling. Oh, darling, thank you. Thank goodness you said that. Oh, honey, I'm ready. I am more than ready. You name the date. You name the time and the place, and I will be there.
What do we do now? We certainly don't want a repeat of what happened in here today.
No, but it's inevitable, isn't it, if we have a public wedding? On the other hand, if we were to have a private ceremony, just the two of us. Oh, Eric, it would be so romantic, just the way it should be.
Okay. This weekend.
No, I don't want to wait.
All right, we'll fly to Nevada right now.
Really? You mean it?
Yes, I'll go by the office and I'll have Rich cover for me.
You're gonna go to the office?
Yeah, let's just take a few minutes.
What if Stephanie's there?
She's probably out with Lauren.
What if they're both there? I don't want you to have to deal with what they're gonna put you through.
It doesn't matter. What do you think we should do?
I wonder if Reverend Marshall is still around.
whether your father marries or doesn't marry Sheila, how does that have any bearing on your relationship with Brooke?
Brooke was hoping that this marriage would open things up for us.
Open things up for you and her?
She's convinced that I married Taylor out of loyalty for Dad.
Yes, I've heard that before.
So she was hoping the marriage would send me a message.
That Eric no longer sees her as a marriage partner.
Right. But now she'd be discouraged about any future with us.
And rightly so.
Which means she'd be much more likely to make a move on Connor Davis.
I see.
Mother, I'm caught in the middle of all this. Connor Davis is a user. I don't want that guy anywhere near my daughter. I don't want him anywhere near Brooke, for that matter. But if I start interfering in that relationship, then that's going to send Brooke mixed signals, and I can't do that.
Ridge, are you telling me that you're vulnerable to her?
Let me just put it this way. I don't really want to test the waters to find out. Mother, for a lot of very crazy, mixed-up reasons, I'm actually glad that Dad didn't marry Sheila. Because if Dad had married Sheila, Brooke would still be pursuing me. And that could be a major complication for me and Taylor. A major complication.
I think it's an excellent idea. Weddings are so often a time of stress, and they shouldn't be.
No, they shouldn't, and now this one won't be.
Well, my wife, Trudy, will be happy to stand in as witness.
Good, thanks very much.
Shall we begin?
Yeah, come on.
Just a minute.
Eric, would you take Sheila's hand and repeat after me, please? I, Eric Forrester, take thee, Sheila Carter.
I, Eric Forrester, take thee, Sheila Carter.
To be my wedded wife.
To be my wedded wife.
And I do promise and covenant.
And I do promise and covenant.
To be thy loving and faithful husband.
To be thy loving and faithful husband.
For better or worse.
For better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
As long as we both shall live.
As long as we both shall live.
Sheila, would you repeat after me, please? I, Sheila Carter, take thee, Eric Forrester.
I, Sheila Carter, take thee, Eric Forrester.
To be my wedded husband.
To be my wedded husband.
And I do promise and covenant.
And I do promise and covenant.
To be thy loving and faithful wife.
To be thy loving and faithful wife.
For better or worse.
For better or worse.
For richer or for poorer.
For richer or for poorer.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
As long as we both shall live.
As long as we both shall live.
Eric, do you have the ring?
Yes.
Would you, put it on Sheila's finger, please, and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
In token and pledge of our constant faith and everlasting love.
In token and pledge of our constant faith and everlasting love.
By the authority committed to me as minister of this church. I pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride.
I love you so much.